Hello, everybody. Welcome back again. Now, today I'm here with a poem called A Thing of Beauty, written by John Keats, one of the most popular British poets. Now, first, before talking about the poem, let's talk about the background. So, how did this particular poem come about? Now, this particular poem is just a small extract from a poem called Endymion. Now, this poem, Endymion, was written in 1818. Okay, and it is in four books. It's just a very lengthy poem, which is also called an epic poem. Now, what is an epic poem? Now, these epic poems are very long and narrative poems. These poems often tells the stories of a hero's feats, whatever the wonderful, the magnificent works that he or she has done. For example, we have Beowulf, we have Paradise Lost. Now, even Ramayana, Mahabharata, all these are epic poems. Okay, these are very long poems, and these poems often focus on the moral themes and mythology. Here, this particular poem, it is written in four books, and it focuses on Endymion. Now, Endymion is supposed to be a poor shepherd boy, and Celine or Cynthia is the goddess of the moon. So once, when Endymion was on the mountain grazing his cattle, he fell asleep. And Cynthia was just passing by. She sees him and she falls in love. But she is a goddess, right? She's immortal. And Endymion, he's a shepherd boy, he's only mortal. Now they can never meet. It's only in the dreams, when Endymion sleeps, he dreams of this beautiful goddess, and both fall in love. But yes, they cannot do anything about this. So the enchanted youth, he resolved to seek her out and wandered away through the forest and under the sea in search of Cynthia. And at the same time, even Cynthia, she wanted to meet him, to be with him. So what does she do? She goes to Zeus and tells him to put him to sleep forever, to give him mortality so that both of them could be together. All right. Now, this poem, the main theme of the poem is about the things of beauty that surrounds us. If you look around, the nature gives us beautiful things. Now, these things are a source of joy. Okay, they are never ending, they are forever. They never die away, they never fade away. So beauty has the power to remove all kinds of darkness, all kinds of negativity, and it helps us survive whenever we are surrounded by evil. And that's how we move on in our life, with the help of things of beauty. Now, talking about the structure of the poem, the poetry is written in heroic couplet, meaning it has it rhymes, but then it rhymes in pairs, in couples. Okay, so two lines rhyme with each other. That's why it's called a couplet. Now, the rhyming scheme of this particular poem is it rhymes as A, B, B, and it goes on, right? Now, it is written in iambic pentameter. Now, what is this iambic pentameter? Now, iambic pentameter always has, in a line, in a single line, it has five beats. Penta itself means five, 5 meters, five beats, and each line has 10 syllables. So, this is the structure that the poet has followed. There are a lot of poetic devices that are used. You have alliteration, you have anaphora, metaphor, imagery, antithesis, enjambment, inversion. So as we go through the poem, we'll deal with these poetic devices one by one. Now, before we go on to this, what is the tone of the poem? Let's talk about the tone of the poem. Now, the tone is a romantic tone. Okay, it's very romantic, and moreover, um you know it has a tone of a desire for romantic self transcendence that aims at fusing his own self with the embarrassment of cosmic creations. So you could, in simple words, you could say it has a romantic tone to it. Now, the first paragraph. Let's read the first paragraph. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness, but still will keep a bower quiet for us, and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. Now, that is how he defines the thing of beauty as something which brings joy, okay, which is a source of joy, a kind of a joy which never increases, but which never decreases or which never fades away, which does not pass into nothingness. In fact, it will multiply, and it will keep a bower quiet for us, and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. So the poet says, you know, the feeling that we get standing under the shade of a tree on a hot summer day, the peace and serenity that we feel, it's the same thing that beauty, the things of beauty, creates for us. And it gives us a sleep full of sweet dreams. It helps us to sleep well. It gives us good health. It gives us peacefulness. Now, please note the second line. Its loveliness increases. It will never. This sentence does not end there, but it moves on to the next. It extends, pass into nothingness, but will keep. So all that extension is called the enjambment. Now, next, the poet also has used a comparison, that is metaphor, a direct comparison when he talks about a bower quiet for us. Now, the peacefulness, the calmness of the bower is compared to the calming effect of a beautiful thing. Okay. Now, the second paragraph, the poet talks about the importance of beauty in our life. So, the first stanza, he defines thing of beauty. What is it? What kind of effect it has? Now, the second paragraph, he moves on to talk about the importance of beauty in our life. So, the poet states, therefore, on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth. Spite of despondence, of the inhuman dearth, of noble natures, of the gloomy ways, of all the unhealthy and overdarkened ways, made for us searching, yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits. Now, please note, in most of the lines, the poet has used enjambment. Okay, because the lines extend on, the sentence extends on to the other lines. Next, he uses anaphora. For example, when he talks about, look at this, one, two, three, fourth line, of noble natures, of all the unhealthy. So, can you see these words of is being repeated? So, whenever there's a repetition of the same words in the beginning of the sentences, in more than one sentence, then that is called anaphora. Okay? Next, he uses um, alliteration. Alliteration means repetition of the same sounding words, or the letters are repeated. Now, here, let's go on to noble natures. See, N. Okay, then here a flowery band, to bind. B is being repeated. Then the next one is some shape. S, or S is being repeated. So these are repetitions, so alliterations. And he also uses an imagery when he talks about a flowery band. So this word helps us to picturize a flowery band, a kind of a garland made of flowers. And at the same time, it is also a metaphor. Why? Because he says, every day, like when we are living on this earth, every day we are reading. That means we are weaving a flowery band to bind us to the earth. Okay, so when he talks about this flowery band, okay, he actually he talks about this the kind of relationship that we create, the kind of memories that we create. Okay, so the beauty of the world provides us with peace, so people remain on earth joyfully, and every day we are weaving a flowery band that holds us in the beauty that surrounds us. Okay, so we are stuck on this earth, or we kind of live on this earth. Why? Because of this bond that we have with our friends and families, and with because of the memories that have been created, and that gives us a kind of a happiness. So spite of despondence, meaning in spite of all these, depressions. So why do people go into depression? Why do people feel sad or gloomy? Because he says, of the inhuman dearth of noble natures. So dearth here means lack of people, lack of good people, people having noble natures. There are very less people of the gloomy days. And yes, every day, sometimes we have happy days, sometimes we have sad days. Okay, so of all the unhealthy and the overdarkened ways, in spite of having the sickness, the sadness, in spite of having all these evil things made for us searching, that we find in our life every day, it's there. The bad things are there. Okay, the unhappy things are always there. But in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirit. So this is why beauty is important in our life, because no matter how depressed we are, no matter how evil people are, no matter how many sicknesses, hard times, bad things happen to us in our life, no matter what, but a thing of beauty always gives us that power to shine. It removes away all the pall, it removes away all the darkness, everything that is evil, and makes us happy. Now, I've forgot to mention about one figure of speech, and that is inversion. Inversion means, for example, um, he is sitting there. Okay, this is a sentence. He is sitting there. It's a straight, simple sentence. But then I could invert it. I could say, sitting there he is. So you see, I've just picked up the words and exchanged it. I have inverted it, exchanged the words, first to last, last to first. So this is called inversion. Now, in the same manner, the first line, when the poet says, are we wreathing a flowery band? That is an inversion. The poet could have written, we are reading, but no, he says, are we? So you see, we are, that has been inverted and made are we. That is called inversion. Now, the third paragraph here, he talks us about the things of beauty. He gives examples. He lists out the things of beauty that we find. So, what are these things of beauty that we see? Such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep. And such are daffodils with the green world they live in, and clear rills that for themselves a cooling covert make 'gainst the hot season, the mid-forest brake, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. So these are all the things of beauty that he has listed out. So he says the sun, the moon, the trees, the daffodils, the clear rills. Rills means the small streams. Okay, the forest brake, the musk rose. All these are the beautiful things that we can find in nature. Okay, so he talks about these trees, whether it's old or young, they are also things of beauty. Why? Because they provide a shady boon, they provide a shade for the sheep. So the poet describes the shape of beauty that force the air of gloom to depart from our minds. Okay, so all these are the sun, the moon, the trees shades which provides peace for the sheep. Okay, just as daffodils dance in the wind as they are surrounded by greenery. So the streams, the rills, the clear rills, the babbling chilly streams, okay, make little thickets for animals to languish in and provide cool water, so that, even in times of feeling very tired because of the heat, feeling very thirsty, it kind of makes us spring back to life again, right? Now, the mid forest break is the thick growth that can be seen in the center of a forest. Okay? And this place is full of flowers like the musk rose. And it provides a gorgeous perfume, it kind of gives us perfume, and it looks really, really beautiful when somebody looks at it. Now, here, some of the figures of speech that I used are antithesis. Antithesis means opposites. Okay, so old and young. Now, here we are putting them together, the old and the young. And then we have alliteration like cooling covered, simple sheep, okay, have heard. So these are all alliterations, and the whole paragraph is filled with images. It gives us pictures, it helps us to imagine those pictures. Now, when we come to the fourth paragraph, the poet says that the beautiful things are not just limited to nature. Okay? So even humanity, it is a thing of beauty. It is also a thing of beauty. So he refers to the grandeur of the mighty dead. Okay? He refers to all these people who are dead and gone, but they have left behind a legacy. The beautiful works done by them, these are also a thing of beautiful. So he says, and such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead. All lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heaven's brink. So he says it's not only the things of nature, but also human beings, who have gone away, who are dead. Okay, these martyrs, the freedom fighters, they have gone, but then they have left behind a mark, their mark, left behind legacies. So he says, we have created the beauty that one steps into after death as a reflection of the beauty that one lives in before death. So it is truly a joy forever. And this also can be seen in the stories that we have heard. Okay, the stories of these great personalities, which imbibe in us, okay, the blessings. So, for example, great people like Mahatma Gandhi and all, they are dead, they're long gone, but they're considered as martyrs. Okay, their stories, even till date, does not fail to inspire us. Okay, so though they are dead and gone, but yes, their stories are like immortal drink. Okay, it keeps on pouring from the heavens brink, because obviously these people are dead and gone, but even when they are dead and gone, even when they are at heaven's door, they do not fail to bless us. They do not fail to inspire us. Okay, so again, the figures of speech that I use, alliteration. Again, H in have heard. Okay, so you have a metaphor here. Now, when the poet talks about immortal drinks, now here, the beautiful objects of nature are forever like a never ending portion of a drink. For example, the stories. Okay, the stories that they have left, the legacy that these people have left behind, they are like immortal drink. They never fail to inspire us. Okay, not only us, but our future generation also. So there's no end to it. All right. Okay. So thank you very much. Now, if you have any questions, please DM me at my Instagram handle. Thank you very much.